Since the nether brain fell, you have continued to evolve. Thought is action, action is thought, speech is difficult. Your mind has voyaged to the limits of existence, communing with entities unique and wondrous. But something always calls it back. Back to Faerun, back to yourself, back to the beginning. The time before you became what you are. When your tadpole first sang in your mind, you are back there once again when a voice comes to you. Withers, who you know so well. It is time, he says, to meet with your allies once again. You dream of them often. And now you will see if your dreams have become their reality.
Oof, Sam. Oof. Lae'zel's an astral projection? Come on, she couldn't even show up in person? Also, why am I not hovering? That's like the only thing I get to do.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon, wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
The second time I summoned the owlbear and it was back to being a baby, that was like the worst moment of all. Okay. Talk with animals.
Friend? Friend! You came! Big brother Scratch, too! Happy.
And what have you been doing since last we met?
Make friends with a turtle, a cat, a kraken. Kraken eats my cat friend, so I bite, kill. With shiny clothes, I am strong. Tired now. Want sleep, want cave.
Sounds like you need someone to look after you. How about Shadowheart?
Nice lady. She gives pets and tasty things. I like her. I go to her.
There you are. I was hoping you'd make your way over.
Scratch buddy?
A familiar sight. Scratch can't quite speak around the thing he has in his mouth.
The astral prism. I love it. What have you got this time, Scratch?
I found this. It smelled like you, so I kept it. Seemed like something you might like to throw.
I'd be happy to. But first, how have you been?
I've been so good. I've got a nice home in the city now. A girl named Mindy says I'm her best friend. She's mine too. Also you and Owlbear. I've got so many best friends, I hardly know who to play with.
I'm so glad you've fared well since our travels.
I certainly have, and I always will. Forever, I think. And so will you.
He is indeed. All right. So where is that? Inert astral prism.
This seems pretty red, but...
Go get it, buddy. He doesn't play fetch with it. What a disappointment. Where'd the owlbear go, also?
Keeping us all on tenterhooks so you could make a dramatic entrance, is it?
Can't click on her.
Starting to wonder if you'd show up.
Of course I did. You lot could hardly manage without me. I'm wondering the same of you. I didn't think you'd want to be within Tentacle's reach of me again.
You can say that with a straight face after all the times I had to come to your aid. Well, come here, will you? It's been forever.
Careful, I might eat your brains. Kind of slimy, I suspect.
You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it.
Yes, I've been eating brains a lot. I'll take that as a compliment. You look good, too.
I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Trudy.
Tell me what you've been up to.
Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister.
Nice. Sounds like you're doing right by yourself.
I like to think so. Choosing my own path is still something of a novelty for me, but at least I'm free to make my own mistakes. One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents.
The owlbear in the
where they came
background.
from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long.
It is true. Your parents would be proud of you.
Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited.
I know, I need to pet him. I need to go back. What's next for you?
I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight.
Thanks, Mr. Scrake.
I'd love to see if there's any truth to that. But enough about me. What have you been up to?
I feel like the ending was exactly the way it should have ended. An absolute mess. I have a confession. I may have volunteered you for something.
So? And what liberties did you decide to take, exactly?
I was hoping you might like a new companion. Rather large, feathered, well-mannered mostly.
The owlbear? Of course I'll have him. If he wants to come with me, that is. I'd have offered sooner, but everything was a blur after the battle. I thought he'd gone to roam free. Are you sure he'd want to join? I'm not exactly settled anywhere right now. It could be dangerous at times.
Hardly anything new for either of you. He'll love it, I'm sure.
All right, then. It's settled. Oh, the things we'll get up to.
That is a happy ending right there.
Don't be a stranger.
I could not be much stranger. Now, let me fly over here. Alright, I need to talk to the owlbear and give him
Happy?
pets.
Gonna get pets. Gonna play. Gonna live with nice lady.
Pet him. Yes, that is critically important.
Yes. Miss this. More.
He said more, so I have to do it. I'm honor bound. I'm gonna spend the next 6 hours just petting the owlbear.
Yes. Miss this. More.
Okay, one more time. But then I gotta stop. I have other people to talk to.
Yes. Miss this.
Okay.
More.
Now it's repeating itself. Wait, it says continue? I didn't have a choice not to. Wait, do you see that? There was literally no leave option.
Yes. Miss this. More.
Okay. There we go. All right, Volo, what do you have to say for yourself?
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking, well. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
Yeah. It's wonderful to see you, Volo. How have you
Busy
been?
as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form.
Thanks, Volo.
You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
Do you think your readers will believe a Mind Flayer could be a hero? Can you, you can do better, can't you? Yeah. The hero and I know. I like it. You can do better.
Terribly sorry, but you mistake me, my friend. I'm only accepting complimentary feedback at this time.
That's Volo for you.
Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Hmm? Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
I do have a lot of people to talk to. All right, next on the docket, Jaheira. Oh, I can talk to Jaheira, all right.
Well now, you can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. Your higher form has brought with it some higher manners, then.
I've learned a lot since last we met. What kind of a greeting is that? I missed you too, Jaheira.
How nice to be understood again. I have spent the past months bickering with builders and bankers, all to restore the city exactly as it was. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers, same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon, same cisterns overflowing.
I heard that the upper city was destroyed beyond reconstruction.
The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder's scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three. But nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again.
And what about you? What have you been up to?
Honestly, much more sitting down than I'd like. Mistake me not. There is still much to be done. Plans to make, maps to be frowned over. But my children are more than capable of doing it. Even the young ones tire of me peeking over their shoulders. This night offers them a brief respite from me, at least. And this place, now I look at it, it is where you all spent your first night together, no? A fine spot for an adventure to begin. A fine spot indeed.
A fine spot indeed. Do you have an adventure in mind?
Just a little wander, perhaps. To stretch the legs.
She's abandoning her
I'll
kids
find
again.
my way back. As I always do. I admit defeat. Baldur's Gate is my home. But that is the thing about home. The only way to see it clearly is to leave. And look back. For a little while, at least. But, should a mother wish to know how her children are faring, not worrying, mind, only wondering, perhaps you might write and tell me of them. And of you, too.
Only if you promise to write back. Wait, I'll do more than that? I'd like to join the Harpers myself if you'll have me. Sure, why not?
The Harpers welcome any into their ranks, so long as their soul is willing. You've proven you have one. Mind flayer or no.
Sure, I'll be a Harper.
I have lived many lives. It is only right you be allowed to live another. Take this.
Harper pin. I have like 7 of them in my stash. Thanks, Jaheira. Awful nails. Ugh.
There is, usually a ceremony. Reciting of oaths, singing of songs. I'm sure we'll get to all of that as the drinks flow. For now, I give you only the most simple Harper creed. To look for the light, and watch always for the dawn. But to enjoy the night while we have it. Huh?
Fair enough.
Now, before this night grows any deeper, I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
All this stimulating conversation leaves you hungry. To speak is not enough. You wish to explore the brain of your friend with your beak. Weary Jaheira. Over time, her stresses may have shrunk her hippocampus, making its taste more intense.
Trade with her. I could buy her underwear. Okay, glad I checked. Constitution. I have no inspirations left. Nice. Good deal.
This is highly illogical. There are plenty of other craniums awaiting your suction. And this is a prize ally. And besides, this brain before you, its endorphins are in a joyous flow. It is a wonderful scent. The odor of friendship.
Yeah, I don't have any money. I also can't see the brocade ensemble that I'm wearing, which is annoying. Looks like Halsin's drunk.
Reunited with friends amidst nature.
Let's get Karlach taken care of.
The whole gang is here.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He wasn't kidding. With us, you mad bastard! You brought me back! Soldier. It's really you. Oh, I've missed you, man. Like, I've really missed you. And you're so tentacly.
Mucous membranes are self-cleaning. Thank you for noticing. I missed you too.
I'd say so. Can't think of who's been carrying your pack now that Kay's out of commission. Man, we had some good times. Wish Will and I had more time to reminisce, but surviving Avernus is just non-stop. Still, having him there has been incredible. You really can get through anything with someone you love at your side. Oh, but hey, guess what we found? Cambion dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. A fucking forge! Our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and force him to fix old Rusty. Or maybe give me a brand new model that can live outside of Avernus. You haven't seen the last of old Karlak yet, soldier.
Good deal. If anyone can survive Avernus twice,
Couldn't
it's
have
you.
said it better myself. Keep a bottle of something good in the icebox for me, huh? Mama Kay's coming home before too long. Can I look you up when I'm out?
You'd better or I'll hunt you down
Hey,
myself.
That would be kind of fun, though. High stakes hide and seek. Honestly, I'd be curious to see if you could land a blow or two. Gods, is it good to see you again. To be here together. Hard not to get used to it all over again. This won't be the last time. I promise.
I wish I hadn't turned into a mind flayer. Let's see, who's next on the list? Who's this dude? Millil? Maybe we do fly up here and just eat his brains? He's like a random dude. I will.
Oh.
On my own, though.
Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice.
Bard, tough gig?
You were a bard, were you? Back before you became so tentacular.
Tentacular.
Withers couldn't even find a bard who knows who I am.
I know exactly who you are. It's such an honor.
You know? You're bloody right. It is an honor. Deep down, I knew you'd recognize me. You're a fellow bard, after all. What can I do you for?
I'd like you to change the song.
Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want?
Let's see. Something I've never heard before.
Fantastic idea. It'll suit the whole affair perfectly.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. There's Will. Talk to Will.
There you are, my friend.
Will's armor looks
Breathe
stupid.
deep. Can you smell it?
Nature. Nature check. Gotcha.
You
Now
take
we
in
succeed.
every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
Fragrance of
Forest
flowers.
trees draped in moss. Bittersweet, smoky, and that faintest hint of vanilla. A far cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, Karlak and I have felled enough Cambions to build a fortress with their horns. Who would have thought that just
I would have
one
collected
of those
all of those
fiends held
horns.
the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlak can fill you in.
How have you been faring without your warlock powers? Have you had any time to visit your father, or your pleasure to be
I've
around?
missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side.
That's enough on Will. We don't care too much
That's enough
about.
talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it. Or wasting any of the wine, for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Nice.
Perhaps the bard knows some of my favorites.
All right, we got Minsk to do. We got Gale over here. We got Karlach's astral, or excuse me, Lae'zel's astral projection. Let's do Minsk though.
Withers has a keen eye for him.
We are not dreaming. It is our old friend.
It's good to see you too, Minsk.
Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder if he was some blind bug who had only dreamed himself to be large and bulksome. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell.
He was in
He
prison?
had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover.
You were in a cell? What for?
Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows.
Have a good one,
and
Illustrious.
Minsk still has his fists, no?
Have a good one. Sounds like Withers got you out just in time.
Time indeed. So long as the Bone Mage returns us to our cell by dawn, Boo would not be late to the bloodshed. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales. How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky?
Is there a different Minsk ending other than this one? On other endings, he got himself a friend. Ah. Honestly, I'm missing you all.
No, my friend. It is not yet time for tears and passing Boo around for the wiping of eyes. There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable.
I seriously doubt
This
that.
pond shall do nicely, Boo. Though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
It's extremely Minskian. All right.
I wish it could last forever.
You made it! Now the revelry can truly begin.
All right, so we got Halsin, we got Asterion, Lae'zel, and then that.
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
Feeling is mutual, I've missed you.
We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. I cannot imagine otherwise after what we shared. That bond was forged in a crucible that can never be stoked again, Oak Father willing. It is a bond that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
Sounds like you need a hug.
I always always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place.
Tentacle hugs. We are the worst.
That was more than worth the wait.
You can say that again.
That was more than worth the wait? Oh, I suppose you didn't mean that literally.
Correct.
Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing.
You first.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
I feel like I should have made this this stream 2 streams. Sounds wonderful.
It is, truly. Though a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. I spoke often of balance before. Only now do I realize the balance is no simple, fixed thing. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of.
I'm glad you're happy.
As am I. I may age more slowly than most, but I do believe I've gained some new laughter lines of late. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see. My charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
Had I known bedtime tales were possible, I would have sought you out at camp.
You would ask to be tucked in next. But whatever the intrepid adventurer needed, I would have been glad to provide.
All right. I think we're good with Halsin.
Well, some of the people.
All right. On to the well, actually ordering wise, I think I want to do Astarion and Lae'zel last. So let's do Gale. I don't care too much about him.
Goodness. Was Faerun always so dull? Still, at least the company was worth the trip, if not the view.
So you did it, you became a god.
I told you I would, didn't I? I imagine you're wondering how all this came to be. The finer points of divine ascension are beyond mortal comprehension. I'm
Never
afraid,
change,
but
Gale.
I can provide a rudimentary sequence of events. First, I retrieved the crown of Karsus and reforged it using a series of precise and highly complex Netherese incantations. Then, I used it.
Wow.
As you know, the orb within me was the half-formed Karsite Weaver. Magic left incomplete by Karsus' self-destruction. I finished it. Using the crown of Karsus, I turned it into a new form of magic, fused with my being, driven by my purpose. And then I put it to work. As expected, Mystra was unwilling to hand over the reins of the weave, so I've claimed dominion over another area which I've passing familiarity. Ambition.
What does the god of ambition offer to his followers? If that's the criteria for choosing a domain, you should be the god of wasting valuable loot.
I offer them nothing. I inspire them to seize their destinies for themselves. Great as the heights I've reached thus far may be, I've not forgotten my humble origins. In fact, they're central to my doctrine. Those drawn to the Galarian Creator merely seek my guidance as the impressive, all-powerful being I've become. Ambition is about beginnings. It's not just about the heights, but the lows that preceded them. I was nothing. A drifting dust mote of a wizard, abandoned by my goddess, my powers lost, my reputation destroyed. And look at me now. I'm
the Silver
their
Surfer.
Proof.
Oh, sorry.
Proof their hopes are not barren wastes, but the loamy soil in which their future achievements will flourish. Proof that with ambition, anything is possible.
I understand a new type of ambitiousness has grown within me in these last months. Illid form is powerful. Interesting. So you help mortals help themselves. Sure.
Precisely. Though that isn't to say I'm averse to the odd bit of direct encouragement. A whisper in the ear of a struggling artisan. A breeze to flutter the pages of a tome before a frustrated mage. A magical weapon stumbled upon by a desperate would-be hero. I am ambition incarnate. As indistinguishable from that most potent sensation as Mystra herself is from the weave. And word is spreading.
Cool.
There are already several shrines in my honor scattered across the outer reaches of Thay, and rumors of a very prominent temple under construction in Arm. This is only the beginning.
What can I say, Gale? I'm impressed.
I thought you would be. Now, divine as my company undoubtedly is, I have an eternity to catch up with you. A luxury few others at this party possess. Don't let me deprive them of your company, or mine, for that matter. It's not every day a newborn god shows up to the reunion. To be a god
I loved the very beginning of the game when the world kind of opens up right after the Nautiloid. I think that really captured my imagination and you know just felt very very exciting. Also, there's a clothing chest over here.
Some fish heads and a stale loaf of bread just to get on.
So at the end of the game, you get every single pair, but I can't wear anything because I'm a freaking illithid. Talk to Tressum.
Well, there he is, Gale in all his glory. I hope you're happy, the god of ambition. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous?
I think it'll make an excellent addition to the
Ambition,
Pantheon.
aspiration, greed and hubris is all I hear. The Gale I knew wasn't like this. He recognized his mistakes. He was contrite. All he wanted to do was live. Unfortunately, he fell into company that turned his gaze toward foolishness.
Quest.
Yes, I mean you.
So I think my favorite companion was probably Shadowheart. And I really, really loved... I mean, you know, I really like the Minx quest. I think that was really good. Like, for storyline, I love Jaheira and seeking out Minx and the whole deal. I think that was great. He wanted to ascend. He did it. I'm happy
Then
for
you're
him.
just as mad as he.
I am.
I know there's nothing you could have done to stop him. Not really. Once he'd decided to learn nothing from his mistakes, what use were either of our protests? Perhaps you'd be willing to come meet Gale's mother sometime? She misses him so, and I know it would do her heart a world of good to discuss her son with someone who knew him as he was.
Sure. As long as a visit from a mind flayer wouldn't frighten her, I'd love to.
Jolly good. I'll tell Mrs. Dekarios to be expecting you. Oh, she'll be delighted. Things just haven't been the same without himself cluttering up the place.
Cool.
Enjoy your party, dear. I've heard you quite deserve a celebration.
Okay. It's Asterion, and then it's Lae'zel.
It smells so good here.
Guess I have to walk. Can't get rid of the Necromancy of Thay, though. What can I say? He just threw a dagger into the ground. How curious.
Well, look who decided to turn up. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. At least I assume it's you in there. It's
yes, the
a little
answer
hard
fight
to
was
tell.
amazing.
How have you been since, everything?
I've missed our time together.
Well, of course you have, darling. It's not easy to replace someone like this.
You're fleeing from the sun. What happened?
Exactly what I feared. Without the protection of our little friends, I was just an ordinary spawn again. Burning in the sun. I fled the dock and found refuge in the shadows until night fell. Part of me was relieved you left so quickly after the battle. I felt ashamed. Like I'd lost everything. Just as you claimed your victory. I didn't want you to see me like that.
Mm-hmm.
But time lent perspective. It wasn't your victory, it was ours. And for all I'd lost, I'd gained so much more. I had freedom, strength, a whole new life. And it was time to live it.
Good. I'm glad.
I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it.
That seems extremely accurate. Asterion, one of the good guys, who would have thought?
Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been.
So what's next for you?
Hardly. Good people don't spend as much time lurking in the dark as I do. You know, it's funny. At first, I thought I was trapped by the shadows, cursed to live in them forever. But in time, I realized that darkness is as much a part of me as my fangs. This is only a curse as long as I refuse to embrace the shadows. So, I decided I would. I decided not to be defined by the choices other people made, by what other people did to me. My past may be done, but my present, my future, they're mine.
Beautiful.
This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse.
I'm glad to hear it. Acceptance looks good on you.
That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun. If the opportunity presented itself, well, I wouldn't say no. But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take on the world with. I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling.
Right on, Asterion. All right, last one.
For 2 months, Orpheus trained me in the ways of the comet. For 2 more, I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head.
That is a sad ending, Sam. It's good to see you.
It's nice to hear it. It has taken all of Orpheus's efforts to conjure my projection, and all of mine to convince him to let me come. Worth it, I'd say. I miss this place. This... Fey Run.
Your efforts to topple Vlaakith are well underway then?
We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zereth Minyaragith.
Oh, of course. Zereth Minyarangith. What is that?
Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai. An exiled people. Once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Algish sent word of the rebellion to Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley. It's fallen to me to secure an alliance.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, as they say.
Sometimes. But I don't need the Githzerai to fight for us. Just with us. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. He is also a near deity. Should the Githzerai join us, we could topple the City of Death in a red dragon's blink.
Yeah, that would be
Should
my
they
assumption,
refuse,
Sam.
I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction. I am a warrior of the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free. But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
When will I see you again?
Soon. When the comet has risen. When the Lich Queen has crumbled to dust. I miss this place. More to the point, I miss you. I wouldn't even deny it with Vlaakith's Vorpal blade at my neck. Though, I'd rather it not come to that. Now go. Mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. I'll be back one day. The Overgod himself couldn't keep me away.
Okay. I think with that, we've done it all. We've talked to everyone that needs talking to. Good job, Asterion, doing some fine work there. Chest of Grateful Words. What is this? Official guild letter, letter from Art, letter from Ravengard, Voss, Arabella. We get a thank you note from everyone. Let's just read the Elminstered one. We don't need to read them all. You remember the day we first met? You couldn't have been more than 8 summers old, clutching your mother's apron. Wherever he is, I hope he can forgive me. To his promise, I will not make the same mistake again.
This seems pretty red, but no, not even close.
All right, well, nothing left to do but interact with the bonfire, I think. Oh, I just put out the bonfire. I mean, I think...
Withers has a keen eye for a nice vintage.
Well, are we just
scrounging in barrels and crates?
So I don't know anything about the epilogue. Is there a post-epilogue or are we just done? One more companion. Who'd I miss?
Apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
I did Wilminsk, Volo. Go south to Withers. Ah. One more companion indeed. Ah, and a quest marker too to help me out with it. Ooh.
This one night is like any other, and yet different.
Thank you.
Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I'm getting tired. I might just go to bed. I'm going to say I think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next?
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over.
It is over.
For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready. For thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To brains without worms and a good night's sleep.
To you.
And there it is. Ceramorphos's All's Well That Ends Well, and leave no one behind. Save every tiefling refugee you can throughout the game in a single playthrough. That's Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, Doppel. You ate Jaheira? Yeah, this was really fun. This was really fun. It's it certainly was not the thing that brought people to the channel more than anything else, but I mean, what an incredible game. I'm looking forward to a break from it. You got manhandled by Withers. Oh, I mean, the game is an easy A in my eyes. It's not, you know, like it's. I don't know if the replayability is there. I think I might have been too. I think I might have been too thorough. Honor mode multiplayer, yeah. I think I was too thorough. Like, I love that about the game, but, you know, like, I think the 9 Disintegrate Scrolls pretty much summed things up. Like, I spent this single playthrough, plus all the time off stream, organizing inventory, cleaning everything up, etc. 379 hours. Now, granted, I left it open occasionally. That wasn't all 100%. You know, I would occasionally leave it open and those sorts of things. But yeah, insanely long playthrough. We achieved 36 of the 56 achievements. Let's see what ones we did not do while the credits roll. Kill 2 birds with one gnome. Use one enemy as an improvised weapon against another. Never did it. In the worm way, wait until the dragon is mid-flight, then knock it out of the sky kapow. Took me 400 hours to finish 5 playthroughs. First one was the longest, 140 hours. Yeah. It was long. I mean, it was wonderful. Defeat Gortash in Worm's Rock without activating any traps. Complete the game in Tactician mode. Ah, doesn't count because we started out not in Tactician mode for the first, like, 4 streams. Jack of all trades, multi-class into every class. Yeah, I also did no romance. Punch drunk. Defeat 20 opponents while drunk. Earn 100 gold from playing sweet music in a single playthrough. We did 69 gold. And then Foehammer. Complete the game in honor mode. And there are 10 hidden achievements. But yeah, I mean, this game was beautifully put together. I do think that the later portions of it were a little less complete than the early parts of the game. And that's understandable. With a game of this magnitude, it's unbelievable to imagine how complete everything felt. But, you know, like, I don't know, some things from today. Like, I expected the Ballast Temple to be more. Like a proper dungeon. Yeah, I think Act 1 was just the most magical. Yeah, Act 3 just opened up and it was there were too many paths to go and too many things to do. And you know, like, I think like I was saying earlier, like, just the presence of the sewer was really cool, but I think they should have gated it a little more, because I went into the sewer and I feel like I headed off a bunch of, like, talking to people that I was supposed to do, but I was so bored of talking to people, because I think the first, like, 3 streams after we joined Act 3 was just like us talking to people and like making no progress. Yeah, the Goblin Camp questline I think was my favorite, Sam. Like, it was just like, it was this moment where, like, the magnitude of the world just opened up and you could just, like, see how big and complex it was. And there were so many options and so many things that could happen. I'm a little sad that Minthara hadn't become a potential recruit. I think it would have been fun to have brought Minthara along. I also think that the Dark Urge playthrough has some interesting stuff. There's so much story that you miss in a single playthrough, but the commitment is so massive. Yeah, and you know, I think it would be interesting to experiment with more optimal builds. Like, our builds were very suboptimal. Like, Lae'zel was just a monster. Asterion was strong for short fights and pretty weak on longer fights. I for a long time I wished that I had taken Shadowheart and just straight up converted her to a wizard, like an ice wizard. But I don't think there was enough synergy to make Ice Wizard like a viable build. As far as like Wizard Sorcerer builds go, I don't really know what the deal is with them, but it seems like she was like, I used her as like a frost mage for most of the playthrough and really enjoyed it because I think it's just kind of fun and it made for silly moments and whatever else. But yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of felt like I wanted to kind of commit and play through these builds, and it felt bad to kind of constantly be pivoting around. I also wish that I had not Ceramorphosed in the end. I think that was like not the best. Yeah, Doppel. I think it's a smart way to go. I think I knew from pretty early on that, especially on the channel, I wasn't going to be able to do another playthrough without it being bad for me. So I felt like I got one chance. I wanted to do as much as I could. And Anthony Verhegen, thank you for being the head of legal for Baldur's Gate 3. Special shout out to the law team. But yeah, I don't know. Just like an incredible game, and I just kind of knew that it was going to be one and done for a while. And lots of things I would have changed. Like, I think I should have probably let the Emperor become the Illithid and just done my own thing. I think that would have been smart. But like my vision of, I was afraid that if the Emperor was the, if the Emperor became Illithid, I was worried that jeopardized Lae'zel's ending, basically. Yeah. And I think I've pretty much seen everything. I will say, I completely missed Maul in Act 1. That was one of my big regrets, was the absent, like, I didn't get to do any of like the thief children stuff in Act 1. That was a bummer. I assume this I assume these credits go on for like a half hour or something like that. Maybe that's wrong, but like, we're in localizations now. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to kill Orpheus regardless, because I really wanted to put the screws to Vlaakith. Vlaakith sucked. And I just kind of wanted Vlaakith to get hers in the end. I was a little disappointed that, like, I don't know the lore from Dungeons and Dragons and like the D&D universe and stuff like that, but I kind of assumed that you know, if Gale had enough time to become a god, and it's a little questionable. Part of me thinks that Gale like didn't really become a god and he's just like wearing some silver body paint, but that's another aside. And still has ambitions of being god. But I would assume that if Gale had time to do that Lae'zel could have done more work on ousting Vlaakith. And I would have liked that. There's so many localizations here. I'm definitely cooked. All right, we're gonna give the credits until 3:30, which is 6 minutes from now, and if they can't finish in that time, I'm probably gonna have to cut them short. But I'd like to see the end. And if y'all have more questions for me or more thoughts about your experiences, I'm happy to talk about them. But I'm also really hungry. So it does feel kind of like a finished game. Like I don't know about DLC. This is another big thing. They absolutely should have left the level cap where it was, but allowed multi-classing above the level cap. I really think that would have been smart. I know there are mods that do that, but like I was max level like in the Shadowlands. Now granted, I did everything, which wasn't great. But, like, Larian confirmed no DLC incoming? Really? Last I had heard, I thought they were saying that they weren't done. Whoa. Okay, that's news to me. When you choose the Emperor's side, you fight only the Red Dragon plus the 4 mirror matches. I did kind of want to kill the Red Dragon. I wish I had killed the Red Dragon. I still find it so hilarious that our entire party died, and then Lae'zel was able to solo everyone, res our hero, and then still get in there and do it. Like, just goes to show you, like, durable heroes. Oh, fresh info from Larian's CEO, like recent? Like this happened like today? Yeah, I think I shouldn't have also. Like, I think I could have flown up the left-hand side, moved everyone over there, avoided the tentacles in the middle. Yeah, if anyone has the link to the Larian CEO's statement, I'd love to see that. Oh. That's a great name for a studio, by the way. Fire Without Smoke. Love that. Reddit, screenshot, Twitter. Let me see this. I'll see if I can bring it up for everyone here. Let's see. Okay, Wizard of Waterdeep. Larian dodged a bullet. It's not just Wizards of the Coast. This post might be it. Counter expectations, but I've never been more sure about a strategy shift. This is the right thing for Larian. Larian Studios founder Sven has revealed that the developer isn't planning to release any expansions or DLC for Baldur's Gate 3, nor a Baldur's Gate 4. Oh, wow. Okay, so here, I'll let me paste this so that anyone who wants to can check it out direct in screenshot form. I'll pop that up there. But yeah, so let's read the rest of it. So Sven said, I understand there will be disappointment because people fell in love with what we created, but it was a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and doesn't need more. The team has grown a lot during Baldur's Gate 3, and I think you can be very excited for what the growth means for our next game. As for BG3 and its characters, they won't belong to Wizards of the Coast, and I think they understand how important they are for the community. I trust that they'll be treated with respect. Oh, they now belong to Wizards of the Coast. Ah, so they sold the Baldur's Gate IP to Wizards of the Coast. Wow. Yeah, the Emperor was a little confusing, right? Because at the end of the day, he and Orpheus could not coexist. He had been torturing Orpheus, right? So, but the Emperor's like self-preservation angle was always a really weird part of him. I don't know. We're on the P's of the sub studios. I'll hang in there for a second, just because I'm still processing this this announcement that I have linked up here. I don't know, like, as for BG3 and its characters, they now belong to Wizards of the Coast. So wait, so it's not only the IP. So Larian Studios actually sold Baldur's Gate 3, the game, to Wizards of the Coast. I think him joining makes sense since the brain itself stated that it willingly let go of the Emperor. Yeah. I mean, the Emperor was a stooge, right? He was a puppet in the whole, like, nature of things. Like, he was an instrument of the brain's plot. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very happy that I chose Orpheus. Of all of the, like, endgame decisions that I made, I think I should have let Orpheus be the Illithid, and that probably would have been a more optimal ending from my perspective. I'm sure they will, Sam. Voice actors are never exclusive to any particular studio, so if Larian had a good time working with them, I'm sure they will. I did hear rumors that, like, I think it was Lae'zel's voice actor was kind of like quick to get all her voice acting lines done type of thing. And so, like, there was a little less back and forth tweaking and adjusting some of her story points. But I don't know if that's entirely true. But yeah, the Emperor always presented himself as a little more altruistic and always ended up being a little more self-serving, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, I think I would have been... But even then, he didn't really have... I mean, the epilogue was added a bit after the game was released. That is true, Sam, yes. So they were indeed called back to record lines. I can't imagine this game... Finishing this game without the epilogue, I think would have felt terrible. Like, having the end of the game be like Asterion running off, being lit on fire, would have felt horrible. But so that's the thing, Mr. Scrake. Like, the free will that he was getting from Orpheus was an illusion, right? Like, he wasn't like officially being puppeted, but you know, he definitely was playing a role. No? I mean, he got duped by the Elder Brain. It gave him his free will through Orpheus and kind of kept him imprisoned there in order to, like, get the progression of things to go. How is this possible? We just went through a bunch of, like, individual things and they're still going. Holy cow. Hold on. Yeah, he thought he was in control and outsmart the Netherbrain, but he didn't. If you bring Gortash with you, the brain will explain more. Bring Gortash with you. Oh my gosh, we're on to interns. That is very interesting. Please tell me the interns are the last part here. I'm dying, Smalls. If you ally with... Yeah, I never even considered allying with any of the big bads. Playtesters chosen by the Absolute. All right. But yeah, I think if I were a betting man before I saw this post by the Larian Studio CEO, I would have assumed no DLC, but maybe a chance of a Baldur's Gate 4. Just because I think this was such a, like, it's such an iconic IP. You know, I mean, how many years did we wait between 2 and 3? Oh, by the way, if you like J.K. Simmons and you have not watched Counterpart, which is a TV show that stars J.K. Simmons, go watch it right now. It is one of the best shows that I've watched in a long time. Blew me away. Sasha and I watched it not that long ago, and it was good. All right, we're only in the seas. Thank you, playtesters, but I think I have officially finished.
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice?
Who are you,
Thou
Withers?
sought to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal.
I would, Sam. It's very good.
Death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals. I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
Who were you, Withers? Who were you, Withers? I guess we'll never know. And I'm sorry, playtesters, that I didn't look at all of you, but I'm tired. And that's it. Thank you, Baldur's Gate 3.